That's right. I love it. Thanks again for everybody for coming out, hanging out with us. We're waiting on, watch out. I told her yesterday, she never really has this earpiece thing going, but she does like a lot of aerobics teaching and stuff. So that's like her zone. Like when she puts that on.
I like the microphone, so I like to
we've been doing these conferences before, but with microphones, and she's a little less chatty. And yesterday she put that thing on, and I was like, wow. And then we were laughing about it last night. She was like, oh yeah, when I put that on, that's my comfort zone. So I said, well, this is the last place we're getting that thing, okay?
So actually pretty inexpensive. You can get your own to take it with you.
I'll take it home.
No, that's even worse. You might wear it around the house and I'm doomed. So how many people here are familiar with our channel that we do on YouTube? All right, cool. So this is like the fan meeting right here, right?
And then for you guys who don't know us, who are we?
We're Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. We have a YouTube channel where we post our adventures of living off grid with no electricity. We have 11 acres. We grow as much food as we can. We raise animals for food and to help support the homestead. And we collect 3,000 gallons worth of rainwater in our harvesting system. It's gravity fed. And we're just trying to live a holistic, like, healthy life. And we're trying to share that adventure with you guys so we can kind of spark something in you that gets you off the GMOs, get you off the processed foods, get you out in the garden. And only time you really are going to be in the couch watching TV or computer time is when you're watching Off Grid with Doug and Stacy.
Right. And then a lot of people ask us why, why would we do this? Why would we go without electricity? Why would we live like we live? And a lot of it, was a journey over time, wanting to know where our food came from, having less stress, knowing how we took care of our animals and just getting the toxins out of our life. And many years ago, I wasn't feeling right, and you go to the doctor, and the doctors say everything's right, your blood looks good, everything looks good, but I felt terrible, and I knew something was wrong. So, I did lots of research, hours and hours of studying. I went to classes and certifications, and from there...
There's a heckler in the back.
And because of that, I just developed all this knowledge because I would have the opportunity, because I could just study and go myself into it. And I learned about our food, where it came from, and it healed me, made me feel better than I have ever felt. It's made him feel better than he's ever felt. He has no sinus problems that he had, really bad sinuses. I have plenty of energy. We're not spring chickens anymore. We like to get up and move around, and we love life because we eat
live food.
Yes, and that's the name of what we're talking about today, about eating live foods. A lot of people talk about, you hear about probiotics and gut health, and have you guys heard that your...
You just gave it up.
Did I? You say it.
The question was, how many people have heard that your health comes from your gut?
Have you heard that?
Probiotics and the food that you eat. So that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about your gut health, or digestion and all that, and your health, because 80% of your immune system is located in your digestive tract. Okay? If you have an unhealthy digestive tract, you are going to have things. And a lot of them come out on your skin. So it could be psoriasis, it could be eczema, it could be rosacea. You could have arthritis problems, inflammatory issues, autoimmune diseases, and it goes on and on and on and on. So obviously, instead of, going and getting something to cover up the problem, let's say you're suffering pain, let's find the root cause of the problem and utilize what we have here and that we can grow ourselves, which is food. Right? And heal ourselves with food. And so that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today, right?
Why, yes you do.
Yeah. I have to let him talk, because I'll talk forever and ever and ever and ever.
It's that earpiece.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk if you won't talk.
Go ahead.
So there's something called the SAD diet. It's called the Standard
American Diet.
The Standard American
White
Diet.
bread, no good white milk. processed foods, anything in a
refined,
box.
anything in a box, right. All those things are the things that you want to, run far, far away from, because that is dead food. Try to eat, a lot more foods than you normally are eating now that are in its rawest form.
Like salads would be a great example, right? So a lot of people might not eat enough greens, so we're encouraging you to eat more greens and large portions of it. So like some people get like this little dinky bowl of salad, and they're like, or like the most salad they get is like a lettuce leaf on their hamburger, right? So we want you to eat more leafy greens, a lot more.
And the first thing you want to work on is digestion, because we want proper digestion so that you can assimilate your foods and it can digest and everything is working the way it needs to work.
So you want to chew your water and drink your food.
Seriously, think about that. Chew your water and, say it, drink your food. Because when you put your food in your mouth and you start chewing it up and the saliva and all that, that starts the digestive process. And that, the acids and everything, and then it goes down, it stops, first stop is in its stomach, and then it turns into like this squishy thing, and then it goes through your small intestines, and that's where you absorb the vitamins from, and then you get the energy and the fuel that you need from eating. Well, some people are like, ooh, and it goes right down, it's in big hunks, and then here's another culprit. When you drink cold water when you're eating, how many people do that?
Or have like a big glass of ice water with your food.
Okay, so think about this. Your body is, 98 degrees, right? So your body's warm inside, then you're drinking cold water. So it's in your stomach, and then you eat nice warm food you're trying to digest, and it drops down into your stomach. So it just basically is like laying there stagnant, and it's trying to get warm again. So it's kind of delaying that digestive process, and then it could cause you, if you get bloated a lot or even gassy, that could be a big culprit because you're drinking cold water. So what I would suggest to you to do is to either drink, and this is really good to do, drink a big glass of water, like room temperature water, before you eat, 15 minutes before you eat, then eat your food, and then you can drink when you're finished. And then when you eat, make sure, when you eat, think about the 80% rule, eat 80%, when you're 80% full, then stop. And that helps. Because when you eat so much, it's harder for digestion for you to, let it go through the process.
And when you drink that large glass of water before you start to eat, you're going to eat less, so that way you're not eating more probably than you should in the first place.
Right, so digestion is your first place to start, and when you sit down, you want to make it like an event. Don't stand and eat your food. You want to have a nice calm environment. Sit down, light some candles, put some music on. But you
when are we practicing that?
I know. But you want to sit down when you eat, because I was really bad at that, and it really messed up my digestion, and I had a lot of problems because, especially like being a mom, you're always moving around, you're doing this, you're getting up and doing this stuff for the kids, and if you don't sit down, it messes up the whole digestive process. That peacock loves it.
This is worse than being cuckoo.
So when you are eating, you want to just make sure you chew your food, sit down and try to relax and eat your food, and wait 5 minutes after you're done eating before you get up, so that it goes through that full process. Because when you eat, something called the parasympathetic nervous system, it's called your rest or relax state, starts happening, and that's where it's going to digest your food and you're going to relax. When most of us are in what they call the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight, where you're go, go, go all the time, or there's a bear after you, you're always going, you got all these stresses going on. So we want to come back down from that sympathetic state. We want to be relaxed. So that way you're going to get all the bang for your buck from your food. Because why do you want to eat food if you're not going to get energy from it? Right? And what is our saying about energy and food?
That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to eat your food and then like lay down on the couch and watch TV or be relaxed. Food is specifically for providing your body with the energy that you need to perform the task that you're going to be doing.
Yeah, so if it's 9 o'clock at night and you're going to go to bed at 10 o'clock, you should not be eating a big meal, right?
And if it's 9 o'clock at night, you shouldn't be eating your dinner anyways. You want to practice, before we got turned on to 3 meals a day, most people would wake up in the agrarian world, right, and they would eat their meal in the morning called breakfast. They were breaking the fast, so that was breakfast. And then they would eat another meal at around 1 or 2 o'clock. That was dinner. And then in the evening, if they were a little hungry, they would have some kind of a snack. and then, you know, the industrial revolution started with the food, then was 3 meals a day, because that sells more food, and then people become overweight, lethargic, and they're eating calories that they're not burning off, and then that causes the health problems.
I'm going to talk about special ones that are really good for detoxification, and foods that are good for your liver and your kidneys, and just for, you know, overall detoxification, because those are your cleaning organs. So your liver, like, would you put dirty oil back in your car? No. So that is your organ that's just going to help detoxify you. So you want to implement a lot of these foods in your diet daily to help detoxify you. And one of the first ones that I love, it's my favorite herb, and he knows what it, you know what it is? I was just talking about it. My favorite herb, he's like,
Cilantro.
say it loud.
Cilantro.
Who likes cilantro?
Love it.
There's a gene that people have. People that don't like cilantro hate it. Is that, who hates it in here? Okay, if you don't like it, there's a reason. I think I heard and read that there's a gene that people have, and that's why I don't like it. But I think there's more people who do like it.
But for the record, I did know your favorite.
He knows it. He knows it. I love cilantro.
That's the husband test.
Yeah, he passed. He passed the course. So cilantro is something that is the best heavy metal detoxifier. We are inundated by heavy metals from chemtrails and from the water, from the air, from, you know, everywhere. So things that we can do to help detoxify us naturally, cilantro is a great way to do it. So just by getting a handful, I just like to, you know, go cut up a big handful. I'll put it in my salad, or I'll just eat it. Or you can, if you make smoothies, green smoothies, you can put it in your smoothie. It's just a great way to add to your foods. If you make mashed potatoes, put it on your mashed potatoes. But try to get these detoxifying foods, because it does help to get rid of the heavy metals. Because when he was talking about putting a piece of lettuce on a burger, that's not going to cut it. You need 7 to 10 cups of greens a day. That's going to really, really bump it up. So if you're suffering from issues, or you want more energy, more vitality, you got to up your greens. Greens are the way to go, big time. Or try to go for 2 pounds of, you know, vegetables. I like fruits. I do fruits. I do a lot more vegetables than fruits, because fruits still are going to have sugar in them, and you don't want to eat fruit all day long. So you want to, you know, regulate your blood sugar on that. Okay? So greens. You guys like your greens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the other one that I like, and I make sure Doug and I have it in every salad, and it's a very sulfur-rich food, onions and garlic. Try to put that in a salad, put it in your food. You can cook them, you don't have to cook them, but if you do cook them, I'm going to tell you a little trick. When you cut an onion, you want to just take off the outer skin, because most of the nutrients, there's something called quercetin inside, are on the outside part. So if you peel too much away, you'll be taking some of that away. And if you let your onion sit out for 10 minutes, it activates it even more. Okay, isn't that cool? So just let your onion sit out a little bit, and then you can cut it up, put it in your salad, or even put it in, you know, in a pan and cook it up just on a low heat.
So fermenting food is another great way to incorporate eating live foods into your diet versus like a canning method. Because when you take the food right from the garden, and then you bring it in, and then you start putting it in with the fermenting it, and you're causing it to grow more bacteria, and you eat that, that's a lot healthier for you too.
Yeah, I ferment everything. When we first moved, you know, I was like, oh, I have to get a canner, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I started canning, and I do, you know, a lot of tomato type things in a can, but I just didn't feel right. I wanted to ferment more. So I started fermenting everything. You can ferment almost anything, any vegetable for sure. And you can do, you know, your fruits also, and even, we were talking about, you could do potatoes, and it just makes like a sour kind of mashed potatoes.
Sweet potatoes. You
could do sweet potatoes, are like one of my favorites. You can ferment sweet potatoes. You can ferment almost anything. And then that way you're going to build up and get all the beneficial bacteria that you need to help with your gut, because we're talking about how your health comes from your gut. So we want to heal our gut. So the most and the more fermented foods that we can get our diet, like, you know, kefirs and yogurts or kombucha or beet kvass, and those are fermented drinks, as well as fermented vegetables. it's just huge in how your health is. And fermenting vegetables is so simple. Salt and your vegetable and some water, good purified water, and that is it. Yep. And so we really subscribe to that because you want to get your dose of fermentation every day into your diet. And the thing is I was talking in our lecture yesterday about people taking probiotics because a lot of people are having gut problems, and probiotics are good. You need to build up that bacteria in your belly. Well, you don't want to keep taking the same probiotic all the time because your body gets used to it. We have over 1,000 different strains of like bacteria in our stomach, and we want 85, and this is perfect, the optimal range. You want 85% to be the good bacteria, and you want 15% to be the bad bacteria. I want to talk a little bit more about more detoxifying foods. The other thing besides the greens are cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables are wonderful for men, women, children. They're very detoxifying. They're great for hormone balance. They're great for getting rid of heavy metals. They're great. Broccoli, cabbage is wonderful. Radishes are wonderful. Brussels sprouts are wonderful. All those things are great. So if you can incorporate those into your diet, it's just great. Some people may not be able to tolerate some of those things as much, so cooking in them slightly. You know, steaming is better than boiling because when you boil, you get rid of everything. So don't boil. If you steam, you put a little water, lightly steam it so it's still crunchy, and then you're going to keep the most, you know, vitamins and minerals inside them. Okay?
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. You might want to check out these videos.
And if you want to become a Homestead Homie, click the picture of us below.
We will see you tomorrow.